Good morning, Kennedy High School, and happy Thursday. Mr. Sabala here. I'm going to take you on a little journey this advisement period. Have you ever wondered about where do colleges and universities get their mascots? I'm glad you all said yes. So I'm going to take you to a little place called Tuscaloosa, Alabama, home of the University of Alabama. The mascot, Big Al the elephant. Now, Big Al goes back to the 1930s. Sports writer Everett Strooper described the team's powerful players as red elephants, and that nickname stuck, becoming the official mascot. Our next stop is going to be up in Northern California in the city of Palo Alto, Stanford University. Now, this unique mascot, the tree, born from the school's rejection of Native American imagery. Originally the Stanford Indians, they changed it in 1972. This tree was student designed and represents the campus's natural landscape. Next up, let's go down to Austin, Texas, the University of Texas. Bevo, the Longhorn, named after a rival's taunt during a 1916 football game. They would originally brand Bevo with 13-0 to mock a previous defeat. Students reclaimed that name, transforming it into a point of pride. And like you see in the picture, Bevo is real, and they will run with Bevo on the field before games. Let's head to the East Coast to Syracuse, New York, home of Syracuse University and Otto the Orange. Introduced in 1951 as a unique, non-threatening mascot, it represents the university's location in central New York's orange-growing region, chosen to be distinctively different from other college mascots, and I would say so. Now let's head down south to the shorelines and beaches of Miami, Coral Gables to be exact, and Sebastian the ibis. An ibis was chosen for its hurricane-surviving characteristics. It's a native bird to Florida, and it's for being the last to seek shelter before a hurricane. It symbolizes courage and resilience. Now let's go back a little bit towards the Midwest, a little place called College Station, home of Texas A&M. Now, this mascot is pretty awesome. Reveille, the collie, is the mascot for Texas A&M, and this tradition goes back to 1931. Reveille is the highest ranking member of the Corps of Cadets, and it's given special privileges on campus. If Reveille is asleep on a cadet's bed, that cadet better not wake her up. That cadet must sleep on the floor. Also, if Reveille barks in class, that class is dismissed for the day. I'm pretty sure all of you guys will be trying to get her to bark. Let's head back to California up north to the Bay Area to the city of Berkeley, home of Cal Berkeley and Oski the Bear. Named after a student cheer from the early 1900s, it's designed to represent California's state animal, and it's known for acrobatic and playful game day performances. Now let's head across the Pacific Ocean to the University of Hawaii in the city of Honolulu, to Vili the Warrior. It represents native Hawaiian cultural heritage. He symbolizes strength, courage, and local traditions, and he replaced previous mascots to honor the indigenous culture of Hawaii. And last but not least, Clemson, South Carolina, home of Clemson University and the Tiger. Adopted in 1896 after a student newspaper contest, it represents strength and ferocity, and it's deeply integrated into the school's athletic tradition. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little tour of college mascots. Have a great rest of your day.
Before education, I was a certified athletic trainer at Foothill High School, and I worked at a physical therapy clinic.
I was a bookkeeper for a medical management company. Turns out I don't really like numbers that much.
While I put myself through college, I was a bartender. So I did a lot of different things, but the one right before I became a school counselor, I was a project manager. So I worked with a lot of different clients, managing their projects from all different types of industries. I did web development and graphic design along with that project management position. So that's what I was, a project manager.
Before I was a teacher, I was a legal writer at a disability law firm and a journalist at the Orange County Register covering high school and professional sports.
My career before education was while I was going through education in college, and I was a store manager for Hollywood Video. Those of you that don't know what that is, it was a video store before there was streaming.
Before I was in education, I was a movie expert at Blockbuster Video.
Yes, I've worked at Disney for 30 years. I'm still there, mainly in behind the scenes stuff, so where all the magic is created.
I had a lot of jobs before I was in education. I worked as a teacher's aide for preschool kids. I performed on a cruise ship. I worked at Disneyland. I worked at Macy's in the underwear department and sold lingerie to my former teachers. It was horrifying. And I worked with developmentally disabled adults.
Let's see, my first job when I turned 18 was at Disneyland, and I did West Side attractions. I ended up on the Jungle Cruise. I did that for 2.5 years, where I met wonderful people like Mr. Adair and Coach Corona, and my friends since I was 18.
Before I was a teacher, I spent a little bit of time in radio. I was a program director at an AM 830 radio station in Anaheim. From there, I got pregnant, had my daughter, and radio station moved out to Sherman Oaks, and I wasn't going to make that drive, so I started a cake business just from home, and I did cakes. I got a job at the culinary school with ROP and started teaching culinary there, and fast forward, 14, 15 years, now I am at Kennedy.
I was involved in a variety of different things, all within the spectrum of music and education. I have been a professional singer and conductor, and I continue to do that work on the side. I spent a number of years running a summer intensive for high school vocalists with an interest in the music of the Great American Songbook in the nonprofit space, so I did that for a number of years before I moved to Los Angeles. I also, several years ago, spent a couple of years as the production manager for a company in Colorado that managed international tours for bands, choirs, and orchestras.
So after I got my degrees in chemistry and physics, I was actually a chemist at a metal plating company. So I would test all the chemicals in all of the plating baths. And I left because I did the same thing every single day, and it became boring. I made more money than I do now, but it was boring and I didn't want to do it for the rest of my life, so I became a teacher. It was hard for me to make that decision though, because my mom predicted I was going to be a high school teacher when I was in high school, and I didn't want her to be right. But she was right.
Well, I've had several different jobs before becoming a police officer, but the last one that I had, I was a after-school coordinator for a nonprofit, and we had a parent component, student component, and I had tutors. And I was working with kids from an elementary level to junior high to high school. The last school I worked at was Rosemead High School, where I ran the after-school program.
I was a retail manager, but both my mother and grandmother were teachers, so after I became disenchanted with that, I decided to become a teacher and just follow the genetics, and I'm very happy I did so.
When I was in college, so my school is UCSB Santa Barbara, I was discovered. I wasn't always a teacher at first. I was a dancer, in fact, a break dancer. And in competitions, 3 scouts saw me and they asked me, as well as my friend, hey, do you want to be a model for us? And they were starting their new line. And so I said yes, my friend said no. And so I did it for 2 years. It was great. I loved it.
If I wasn't a teacher, I always wanted to be a Disney Imagineer, the people that create the ride concepts and the small scale models. I always saw myself doing that.
I would be a party planner. All of the planning for every party, especially decoration.
I think I'd like to be a professional hunting guide or work for the Department of Fish and Game. I like to hunt, I like the outdoors.
When I was younger, I always loved fashion. I used to sew with whatever scraps I had, so I think I would become a fashion designer if I had the choice.
If I wasn't a teacher, I would either be a writer or Batman.
My dream career, two things. If I was not afraid of blood and dead bodies, it would be a criminal profiler or to be on Broadway.
If I were not a teacher, I would be involved in the museum sciences, arts, art museums. I love art history. I would love to study more of it. I can't get enough visiting museums. I think to be able to facilitate the understanding of the significance of art in our lives, I'd love that just as much as I love teaching.
Probably a job that included traveling, like a food critic or like wine tasting and stuff in different countries.
I really love cleaning, so I think I would run a professional house cleaning service, or honestly, I think I'd be a Hollywood PA because I perform really well under pressure and make impossible things happen with very little resources.
100% I would be running professional audio for world concerts. That's what I love to do here. It's what I love to teach, and I would love to do it professionally.
If I wasn't teaching, I would be a sideline reporter for college football, hopefully ESPN, on the sidelines reporting.
I think I'd probably be like a teacher. It'd be something in education because both of my sisters are teachers at an elementary. And yeah, I'd probably be working with kids. Hence, now that I'm the SRO and I work at schools, Walker Junior High and JFK and the elementaries, it's kind of like it worked out perfect for me because I like being a police officer, but I also like helping youth, mentoring, dealing with, their things that they go through. So yeah, it worked out perfect.
I think I would be a park ranger, one of those people who hike around and don't interact with people, but are in nature all the time. If not, people might be surprised because I say biology. I might be a zookeeper. I would like to interact with the animals, and I'd be okay cleaning up after their poop and all that stuff, so that might be fun.
I would be working at an aquarium or a zoo.
I have circled around, and believe it or not, I am in my dream job. After cycling through these things and spending a lot of time in music right on the periphery of education, I decided while I was doing the tours that when that job came to a close that it was time for me to move back into the classroom full-time, where I spent the very first years of my career. So I'm here at Kennedy living my dream and having a great time being here.
This is my dream job. I never thought of anything else. When I was in high school, I decided to go into teaching because I had a really amazing teacher that inspired me. And so after graduating, it was either this or counseling, and I decided to go for teaching.
I would say teaching definitely is my dream job. I've had a little bit of teaching college level. College level I like a lot, but I think high school is best.